Well, you see the title there, and it's time for a CJ the Champ reaction called The Thragg Trial. Wow, man. It's crazy how he's been uploading these invincible videos so far. Yeah, totally. It's insane, really. It really is insane. Him uploading an invincible video about how brutal the fights were. Now him doing Thragg with the nice crispy haircut he got. It's cool. But anyway, yeah. It's time for me to do a reaction to this, so let us begin.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, y'all already know what time
yes,
it is.
Sir.
Court is now in
Court's in session.
It's time for a trial. And it is for none other than the crispiest
yes, sir.
Viltrum's final boss, Grand Regent Thragg. So, y'all already know how this works.
Yep.
We got the evidence and
all the
ready
evidence
to be presented. And my God, I gotta say this is some of the most damning evidence a character has ever had. So, without further ado, Exhibit A.
Let's do this.
Let's get down to business. Exhibit A. Thragg's rise to power and his multiple atrocities. Now, we actually got a glimpse of Thragg's backstory right here. And just from this backstory alone, you could already tell that Thragg was a crazy-ass nigga. Because this man is responsible for multiple horrible atrocities. So let's start off with example one. This one planet was trying to start a rebellion because they were fed up with the Viltrumites' rule. So they decided to blow some shit up and retaliate. So the Viltrumite higher ups, Argall's council, whatever the hell you want to call them, had a meeting to discuss of what they should do about this rebellion. Now, Krieg and Thetis were basically arguing the whole time, because Krieg straight up proposed that they should just decimate the whole planet to show the strength of the Viltrum Empire and strike fear to the species that was trying to rebel. But Thetis, on the other hand, proposed that they shouldn't decimate their planet, because the Viltrumite rule over this species was cruel and inhumane, and he thought that since this species showed some type of pushback against their oppressors, that it was an act of strength, and Viltrum should respect it because their main core value was strength. Now, while they kept yapping, Argall decided to shut both of them up. Then he asked Thragg, "Young nigga Thragg, my crispy apprentice, what do you think we should do about this minor inconvenience?" And Thragg straight up said that these creatures were so weak that their weakness was an offense to the natural order of the universe, and we should educate them on why they're so ass. And after hearing Thragg's rant, Argall was like, "Now that is why you are my right-hand man. Tax them niggas 25% of their population."
Yeesh.
This man Thragg is responsible for this race losing 25% of their population. A quarter of these niggas was wiped off the map because Thragg thought they was weak as hell. Now, let's move into example 2. His first day is Emperor. Now, after Argall got assassinated and took a big-ass shake to the skull of Optimus Prime,
seriously,
they had a massive funeral for this man, and it was broadcasted across the entire planet. So after Thragg was done giving the eulogy, he does what is quite possibly one of the craziest things a leader could ever do. He said that there is a sickness in our society, and it needs to be cut out. So he points at this melanated brother behind him and asks him, "You, do I look fresh today?"
I like your cut, G.
You don't
I don't believe you.
Wow, he just cut off the black guy's head off? Good God. Yeah, look at them, they're shocked. They should be, man. Straight up cut his head off. Oh, wow, this is live.
He decapitated this brother for no reason at all. He chopped his head clean off to make an example out of him. So after he just murdered this dude in front of everyone, this man gets on the mic and says, "As my first command as Grand Regent, I, Thragg, hereby officially announce the first ever Viltrum Culling Games. Seek out every single sorry-ass nigga in our population and eradicate them. Purge every weak nigga from our population." So after Thragg gave this speech, all hell just broke loose across the entire planet, and the Great Purge began. Viltrumites just started killing each other off one by one.
Oh my God.
To weed out every person they considered weak. And it wasn't just the adults doing it too. It was the kids as well.
Damn, even the kids.
Bro got jumped by 3 other kids that got stomped.
Jeez, have mercy.
This was just straight up horrific. And
Insane.
This had to be one of the worst ways to ever find out who was weak or not. Because
seriously.
What was a battle royale. Anything could happen.
Little death battle.
Get cheap kills off of niggas, but third party's another 1v1. They could be 10 times better than you. But you could literally wait until their 1v1 was over and they were at half HP. They just come behind them and sneak their ass. Like, this shit is stupid. And God
it's crazy.
I never ran into a motherfucker like Conquest, because that was just instant death. It didn't matter how strong you were if you ran into that nigga. That was just straight up bad RNG.
Absolutely.
And at the end of this purge that Thragg started, it led to half of their population getting wiped out.
Wow. Look at all that murder.
Billions of Viltrumites died because of this purge. And those billions of bodies are on Thragg's head, because he literally commanded them to do this. And now we're at our 3rd major atrocity. And that was his invasion on Telescria. This nigga pulled up in a big-ass Star Destroyer and started burning this city to the ground and destroying everything. Millions of innocent people were getting burned and vaporized while this man was just sitting in his ship and looking down on all this death and destruction. And there is a high probability that this man would have probably just scorched the whole planet if Mark and friends didn't destroy his ship and make him tweak out about losing Argol's skull. But I think that we can all agree after looking at these 3 atrocities that this man Thragg is just a straight up space tyrant. Because there is nothing more that this nigga loved to do than conquer civilizations and spread bloodshed wherever he went.
Goodness gracious. Look at all the murders.
Exhibit B. Putting the fraud
allegations to rest.
Man, oh man. The amount of people that were calling Thragg a fraud before episode 7 was just flat out insane. Like, we're now in an era where if a new character ain't doing some shit like ore farming or putting belt tags on niggas in the first 5 minutes of their screen time, they're putting them on fraud watch.
Seriously.
Actually calling him a fraud before he even threw his first punch. Now, if you were a part of the crowd that was calling Thragg a fraud before all this happened, all is forgiven. As long as you sign this document and turn it in by the end of the trial.
There you go.
Now, everyone should have known Thragg was all about that action the moment the coalition pulled up on Viltrum. Because they pulled up searching for this man just for him to meet them at the front door. Bro said, you ain't even gotta search for me, gang. I'm right here and I'm ready to throw
just show him.
Lula comes from behind and sneaks Status in the back. And all the other Viltrumites end up surrounding them. Because Thragg set up an ambush because he knew they were gonna try to track him down and kill him on Viltrum. So he six his minions to start jumping the coalition. While he just straight up sat back and watched them fight the whole time. This dude didn't even bother to move from the spot he was in.
Nah, he was just sitting there.
He shot his infinity ray at him. And all he did was move back a couple of inches. This man didn't give a flying
not a chance.
a laser that will one-shot him. He just had the confidence to know that shit wasn't hitting him. So the first person to actually try to fight him was Omni-Man. So Nolan flew in and tried to hit him. But all Thragg did was move back a couple of inches again and make Nolan hit straight air. Then Thragg flew above him and winded up a punch from the heavens. And if you take a look at Nolan's face right now, you can tell that
he's about to get smacked.
Thinking,
Damn.
He about to rock your shit.
Thragg punched this nigga Nolan so hard he turned into a living, breathing meteor and made him crash all the way down on the surface of
Ouch.
So after Thragg hit Nolan with a stage change, Thragg came down and tried to hit Nolan with some good old talk no jutsu. He was telling him, Nolan, big dog, come home. Why are you fighting for these sorry-ass, weak-ass niggas? They just sorry-ass killed our emperor and brought us to damn near extinction. And you want to align with that Autobots, robot, sounding ass nigga? But Nolan tried to tell Thragg.
Wow, really?
He was a changed man now. And he was done sipping from that Viltrum Kool-Aid to be a brainwashed space tyrant. So after Nolan tried to get Thragg to stop and surrender, Thragg looked at Nolan dead in the face and said, oh, Nolan, how far you fallen? Looks like that Earth Coochie really made you a soft-ass nigga. So Thragg winds up a punch that was so strong it created a vortex. And he hit Nolan with a Shoryuken from hell.
That hurt.
Sent Nolan flying all the way back up into the stratosphere. So after Nolan got sent back to outer space, the next person that tried to step up was everyone's favorite useless purple
Is it Oliver?
Thragg.
Yup.
Now, before we
Oh,
observe
brother.
what happens to this half-insect buffoon, I want y'all to hear exactly what Oliver says 20 minutes before this fight starts. Roll the clip.
Why is everyone so nervous about fighting this Thragg guy? No way he lives up to the hype.
Now, as we can see, Oliver
Are you
is
sure about that?
basically representing everybody that put Thragg on fraud watch. He himself was not believing in all the hype, even after his dad straight up told him, however strong you think you are, Thragg is stronger. But Oliver, being a hard-headed ass nigga and not listening to any of the warnings about Thragg, ended up being on the receiving end of one of the most brutal scenes in the series. Oliver flew in to punch Thragg, but Thragg stops him with one hand. Then he crushes Oliver's hand and grabs him by the arm when he tried to get away.
Yeah, that's
And
when you
can
messed
see
up.
it in Oliver's face when he finally realized that he fucked up.
Yup.
And he should have listened to his pops.
Totally.
the whole time, but it was all too late for him. Thragg backhanded Oliver so hard,
Damn, knocked your jaw off.
and his left arm got snatched.
Oh, and that too.
Oh, man. Attempted murder
Yep.
attack on the child abuse.
You see, Oliver, this is why you always gotta, you know, stay back and let the adults handle this, because this is the reason why you always gets involved in this stuff. Because how are you gonna say that a few seconds and all of a sudden get your arm ripped off, get your hand broken, and now your jaw's destroyed? Man, I swear, you can. This is why I always, you know, let the kids hang back while all this is happening. So you want to be put in this position.
This nigga Oliver is the most useless person on this squad. He is a waste of space. And I already know some of y'all gonna be like, but CJ, what about Tech Jacket? You see, at least Tech Jacket knows her role. Sit in the back, shoot your Viltrumite debuff darts at him, and get your assist. She's being a good support character. Oliver, on the other hand, is that one brain-dead DPS on your team that goes into a fight alone, dies, and asks where the team was at as he's feeding the other team. This nigga is just straight up garbage. This little nigga was talking crazy as hell, all for him to get his jaw broken off and not being able to talk again for the foreseeable future.
Goodness gracious.
So after Oliver got humbled by Thragg, Mark tried to rush in on Thragg with a rage boost, all for Thragg to flash him with one of the craziest impact
Ooh,
frames
that's
of all
terrifying.
time, then stopping his punch with his hairline. Then after he showed Mark his fresh lineup that he got right before this battle, he gives him a left and a mean-ass gun check, then grabs him by the neck and kick slaps him out of Viltrum's orbit. Look at the impact frame of this man getting the shit slapped out of him. He slapped the thrust out of this nigga's mouth and made his whole head do a 180 before his whole body got put in reverse. Not gonna lie, gang, just for this.
Yeah, that's
extra
attempted murder.
Because this pimp slap was uncalled for. Bro.
Absolutely.
So damn disrespectful.
Ouch.
Then after he pimp slapped Mark, he flew up to my glorious King Battle Beast, locked him in his jaw, then grabbed his jetpack, then threw him to a whole other solar system. Because we don't see him again for the rest of the fight.
He's
Just
gone.
for doing that to my goat, that's attempted murder. Throwing Battle Beast like a toy into deep space is actually insane. So since everyone was getting dog walked by Thragg, they decided the best thing to do was to just destroy the whole planet. So Space Racer shot his Infinity Ray at the planet, and Mark, Nolan, and Betis fly into the planet's core and blow it up.
Damn. I'm pretty sure that's gonna take that
So after
Thragg
these
off.
three blew up the planet, this sent Thragg over the
There you
edge.
go.
This man looked directly at Thetis, locked onto his target like he was a heat-seeking missile, and ripped Thetis' head clean off of his shoulders.
Huh.
Ladies and
Goodness.
gentlemen,
Yeah, that's just straight up murder.
Thetis didn't
Holy
even get a
cow.
chance to react. All he saw in his last moments was Thragg's crispy-ass hairline blitzing him at Mach speed. Then he displayed his head to everyone, then crushed it into mush while telling everyone they're next.
And you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure a lot of people say that the guy that Thragg just killed was voiced by Peter Cullen. If you didn't notice it, he also did the voice of Optimus Prime. Yeah, I heard a lot of people say that. Or people in the comments, actually, but yeah. That's actually crazy to me. He did the voice of this character in Invincible.
So after he sent Optimus Prime back to the Bayverse,
Seriously.
he grabs Nolan with no hesitation and just starts to lay the smackdown on this nigga. While Nolan couldn't do anything, he couldn't fight back at all. Thragg then low-key started hitting Nolan with the Superman Injustice 2 super move, just yo-yoing his body with punches. Then Mark came in and tried to help out, but he gets punched in the throat and he can't breathe anymore. So Nolan tried to attack, but he gets his wrist.
Oh!
Then when Mark saw Thragg flying
yeah.
towards
You're
him,
next,
his
Mark.
fight or flight senses kicked in. Because Mark hit the jets and just tried to skedaddle. But Thragg was chasing him
Scared.
and he was on his ass.
Look at that.
At the expression on Mark's face right here. This is the face of a man
no.
who is terrified and is running from death itself. So Thragg grabs Mark and starts giving him ferocious back shots. Then after
Hey, yo.
Mark back shots, he had him hoisted up, and he was about to end this man's existence right here. But Nolan comes in and saves Mark at the last second. So after Mark got saved, Mark asked, "Dad, how do we beat him?" And Nolan looked back at his son and said, "Son, we're cooked."
Damn.
Lord have mercy. Thragg gave Nolan the Viltrumite special.
Seriously.
Thragg grabbed Mark by the neck again and gave him a headbutt that was probably heard around the cosmos.
Literally.
Then he started to squeeze his head, and he was going to crush Mark's head just like he did to Thetis. But at the last second, Thragg decides to stop because he realized that too much Viltrumite blood has been spilled.
Yeah.
So he lets Mark off the hook and leaves him for dead in space with his father and his brother. This man Thragg shut those fraud allegations up.
Yeah, he said shut him up.
He just straight up wiped the floor with everyone. Omni-Man got left with his guts hanging out. Mark got put into another coma, and Oliver had to get put in a Bacta tank with a new shiny mechanical jaw and a prosthetic arm to go with it.
Look at all this. Good God. Yeah, that's crazy.
Exhibit C.
Oh, we got Exhibit C.
We have reached our third and final exhibit. Exhibit C. PTSD and holding.
Oh boy.
Now, after Thragg put butt to ass to the coalition and left the whole family for dead in space,
Literally.
they thought they were going to go to Earth and destroy everything. So when Mark finally recovered from the beating that Thragg gave him, it is revealed that Mark got his ass beat so bad, he got PTSD. But not just your regular PTSD. This nigga Mark got specifically post-thragmatic stress disorder. Not gonna lie, we haven't seen a case of PTSD this severe since Slade did this shit to Robin. Because Mark was tweaking out so hard, he was seeing things just like Robin was. So let's go through some of the examples.
Nice little comparison.
Fear this actually was. Example 1. Mark finally comes back home to see his mother for the first time after the war. So this was supposed to be a heartwarming moment. But it goes south real quick. While Mark was talking to his mom, he looked away for like 1 second. And when he turned around again, he sees Debbie getting
shot. What are you about to do to her?
And Thragg tells him, "This is the smallest repayment for what you did." And rips Debbie's head clean off.
Oh my God!
This shit got me for a quick second. Because this happened so fast it felt like a jump scare.
Literally.
Will really thought for a second that he saw his mother get her head ripped off before he finally snapped back into reality. But this was only his first post-thragmatic stress disorder episode. Because there were more to come. Example 2. Mark and Eve were having a very important conversation about how life's been for her since Mark left. And she was about to give him the whole lore dump of what all happened when he left. So right before she was about to tell Mark that she was pregnant, she gets her head snatched by Thragg. And Thragg starts to hold her up above Mark and tells him, "You took away what I love. Now I'm taking what you love, nigga." So he starts to gouge her and crush her face. Then her other eyeball ends up
God!
head before he finally kills her in front of Mark. Then throws her lifeless body right back at her. This nigga Mark was going through hell. He was living a nightmare because he couldn't tell if this was real or not. Eve had to snap this man out of the genjutsu that he was stuck in because he was actually stun locked. Now, let's observe example 3. Mark is giving the debrief to Cecil about the war and was low-key about to ask him for a therapist. Now, while their conversation continued, Mark closed his eyes, and the moment he looked back up, he sees Thragg giving Cecil the Viltrumite special move.
Holy crap.
While he had his body lifted up, he told Mark, "Just to let you know, I'm still in your head, and not even therapy can repair the shit I did to you." Then he throws Cecil's lifeless body to the side like trash. And after this, Mark just started hyperventilating because he was having a panic attack mid-PTSD till Cecil finally calmed this nigga down and brought him back to reality. So after Mark went through like 3 post-thragmatic stress
seriously.
Mark decided to go on a flight to clear his head. And while he was out flying, he sees Thragg again. So Mark, thinking he's having another episode, closes his eyes and starts to think in his head, "This is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here. This is not real, this nigga's not here. So when Mark opens up his eyes again, Thragg
Oh,
was
yep,
standing
he's there.
And he told him, yes, little nigga, we indeed are here. And this was when Mark finally realized that the Thragg standing in front of him was indeed
The real one.
Mark starts freaking out and begins to hit Thragg over and over again. But Thragg just took all of this with no reaction. Then
Not
he
even
took
moving.
Mark's face and threw him back to where he started. Then Thragg told him, stop, little nigga. I didn't come here to fight. I came here to talk. So Thragg gives this man a little smile, then tells Mark, here's how this is about to go down, little nigga. You took our home, so now we're taking yours. So from this day forward, we, yes, we will be using Earth as a breeding ground to repopulate our forces and rebuild our empire. And don't worry, they've already started. Greg done cracked like 6 of your Earth holes already. One out motherfuckers have
Goodness.
his life right now. And Lucan is already famous. He's been hosting this show called Family Feud under an alien named Steve Harvey or some shit. But that's beside the point. What you need to know is this, little nigga. You're going to let us coexist with you. And if you don't, we will rip this planet in half. Also, I will need to acquire the location of your planet's best barbers. Their services will be needed. So Mark has to agree because he basically has no choice. And Thragg officially takes the entire planet of Earth as hostage and turns it into a Viltrumite breeding farm.
Goodness, yeah. Get all that stuff in here.
The verdict. Ladies and gentlemen, after observing all of this evidence, and
You passed the test,
totaling
didn't you?
this long list of charges, this
Oh, yeah. You passed the test.
flying colors.
Oh.
This man Thragg belongs in the elite category for menaces.
Mhm.
He pulled off this list of charges
Oh,
in
that's-
3 episodes, gang. That is like a new record for Charles or some shit.
Absolutely.
This is just the tip of the iceberg because the files on this man are going to continue over the years. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed. And until our next trial, that is
yes,
coming up
sir.
very soon, I bid y'all farewell.
Ooh, let's hope he uploads that pain trial. Let's hope he does, because I know everyone's been waiting for that, but yep. That was my reaction on CJ the Champ. The trial of Thragg, and wow. I gotta say, man, this was just absolutely chaotic for this guy. Yeah, he straight up caused a massive I don't know what to say. Dang, how do I put this? Let's just say he decided to just cause all the Vulturites to just straight up murder each other like it was a death battle. Yeah, causing mischief all the time in the funeral. Well, he did that the first time, yeah. Then he straight up beat Omni-Man and his 2 sons. Like, ripped all of his arm out, busted his jaw, straight up put his hands through, straight up blew Omni-Man's back out, paws, then ripped up the guy who was voiced by Peter Cullen, ripped his head off, then beat up Marks, gave him PTSD 3 times, and he decided to take Earth hostage. Yeah, he's definitely a menace indeed. A straight savage. Whew. But, yeah. That's insane for him to actually do all this crazy stuff. But, yeah. That was my reaction, so hope you all enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you want to. And yeah, when that paint trial uploads, I'll see y'all there. So, yep. Thanks for watching. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.